your host with most, Jenbel. As always, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing good. I know I'm doing pretty good today. So, we are going to be talking about a documentary that we have been buzzing about for, ever now, it seems like. I know it's finally hit Shudder, and that is In Search of Darkness, the journey of 80s horror movies and everything. Finally, check this out. I know a lot of people have been checking this out. We've all been kind of just been very excited about this. Honestly, I really was not disappointed by this. A lot of really good reviews about this, a lot of positive feedback about this. Is it perfect? No. No. Here's the thing though, it's like a 4 hour long documentary, and I feel like we still didn't get enough in this documentary. Yeah, I know. And that's, that's not really a bad thing. I mean, that's kind of like my gripe about this, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So we're already, like I said, it's a 4 hour documentary already. But the 80s, it so much came out during that time, and especially if you're just talking about horror. Wow. I mean, what was it, like 1981 had like the most horror movies released of all time or something crazy like that. So, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. They did do a really good job about, they did talk about, a lot of the movies you would expect. They talked about several of the Friday the 13th, several of the Halloween movies, so things like that, like the things that you would kind of typically expect in a documentary like this, even though they've been talked about, endlessly. But, you kind of have to have movies like that in a documentary like this. But then we also did get to see more movies that we don't necessarily always get to see in features like this, that just don't. Great movies and everything, but unfortunately, with just talking with so many other things, a lot of these movies kind of get left to the wayside, not even like really getting a chance to even talk about it, and just end up cutting in the final product and stuff. So it's kind of nice to see some of the other movies kind of getting a spotlight and getting spoken about, like Monster Squad. We all talk about Monster Squad, but quite honestly, we don't really get to see a movie like that in the forefront, being talked about, having its own little segment in a documentary like this. To be honest, and we all know it's a great movie. We all love that movie. So it does talk about movies like that. And they were even talking about, with that movie, how that was kind of like one of the first tween type of movies, because, one of the guys in here really did kind of bring up a really good point, because it is a PG-13 movie, and the thing with that is, this was, released at the same time, or the year after The Lost Boys. So a lot of, the teenagers that want to go see that, this movie, Monster Squad, was a little too young for them. But then you have other kids, maybe 10 and under, 11 and under, who can't really go see this because it is a little scary. You do see some blood. You do see the killing. You do see dismemberment. You see Wolfman getting blown up and all over the place in pieces, and then so it's like, you don't really think of oh, that is a little much for like an 8-year-old Tommy down the street. But there was a perfect little niche there of 11, 12, 13, maybe 14 age range group there, where I think a lot of people during that time, or as we got older, kind of saw this, and it was at that age, perfect. So, but yeah, stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. And also too, they have a lot of people in here. Speaking of movies that don't really get to be featured in documentaries like this for a number of reasons, we actually also have a lot of people in here being interviewed that we don't typically always get to see or hear their thoughts about. Surprisingly, people such as Leona Quigley is not in this documentary. They talk about Leona Quigley, her as an actress and everything, some of her movies and everything, but she's not actually interviewed. Robert Englund wasn't interviewed for this, and it's, once again, not a bad thing, but they had so many people that they had in this that you kind of, like, some of the people they didn't interview that you normally would see, you kind of can forgive that, because, I mean, I love Robert Englund, I love Leona Quigley, but, like, I've heard them in so many of these documentaries where it's like, I still love hearing their stories and everything, but I kind of want to hear other people, you know? So it's like, once again, it's like little gripes I have about stuff like that. I can't really be upset because it gave other people chances, such as like Caroline Williams is in this. Good chunk of time in here. She does have a lot to say. They do interview her a lot, or show at least a lot of her interview and everything. Yeah, but there's a lot of people in here. I mean, we do have some people such as like John Carpenter, Kane Hodder. You know, you do have to have some of those staples in here. So, like, once again, like, some of the trade-offs, yeah, we might not have had Robert Englund, but you know what? We got Kane Hodder and we got John Carpenter. You know, like I'm not gonna be trolling this, but let's just kind of go through some of the people we have in here. We have Joe Bob Briggs himself. We have Deanna Price, Laurie Cardwell, Nick Castle. Yeah, I mean, Nick Castle, I feel like he is in more and more documentaries, but still, every time he shows up, because he's one, I feel like, you know, has gotten a lot more recognition over the last few years. Is always awesome to see him in here. Larry Cohen, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Sean Cunningham's in here, obviously, Joe Dante, Keith David, Katie Featherston from Paranormal Activities. Once again, another one where it's like I always kind of forget about, but I do kind of like to see her because I do like those first couple of Paranormal Activity films and everything. Mick Garris, Stuart Gordon, Tom Holland. Like, so many people are in here. And there's a slew of other people in here as well. I mean, but that's just some of the people that they had in here being interviewed and everything. So freaking good, you guys. And this is one, too, where I've been seeing a lot of people kind of writing where, you know, they had every intention of kind of, like, watching this sort of, like, segment by segment. Because they do this, they do us a solid with this where they go year by year by year. So, like, they start off with the 1980, good, like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, however long each segment is. Of, you know, going through and picking out some like, you know, movies and everything. So, but yeah, people, you know, had every intention of like, okay, you know, I'll kind of do like, you know, a year or two at a time, and ended up watching like the entire thing in one sitting. Yeah. So, but something that I would love to see, because like I said at the beginning of this video, is like I wanted more, you know, because I mean there's so much in here already, but it still just did not feel like enough. That I want more of this film. And something that I was kind of thinking about that I would love to sort of see with something like this, if they do something else, something like this again, instead of maybe a documentary, I could see this as being a sort of like a TV series or something, or a series on like Amazon or Netflix or Shudder. Do it on Shudder, obviously, where, you know, you can have, you know, even, it doesn't even have to be like, you know, a 20 season long type of thing. Like, hell, if I get like 2 or 3 seasons out of this, I would be awesome. I would love that. And like, you know, you can have a minimum of 10 episodes a season, you know, do, you know, episode 1, 1980, episode 2, 1981, 1982, blah, blah, so, and so on and all this. And maybe even pushing up to maybe 13 episodes, because something that I did like about this documentary is, they would take little, like, breaks between the years and talk about, like, nudity, you know, is it a good thing, or is it just being, women being exploited, and, you know, like, Scream Queens, and, you know, the Vinyl Victim, and the whole, like, rules thing. Maybe have, like, you know, 2-3 episodes, maybe focusing on that, like, every couple of episodes, every 2-3 episodes, have the next one be, you know, sort of like one of these episodes. So that's what I'm saying, where it's like, you know, if they don't really want to do 10, but they want to do 13, they don't know what to do with those extra 3 episodes, man, boom, you know, scatter them throughout the season. I don't know, anyone else? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you would, like, love something like that, you know, I'm just saying, let's make it happen. But yeah, no, this is definitely a really good documentary, guys. I really enjoyed it. Sounds like a lot of you guys are really enjoying it too. So yeah, I figured I'd kind of talk about this because I've not seen too many people kind of talking about this documentary yet, or at least review wise. I was almost going to watch that movie on Shudder, The Host or whatever, but and review that. But I've already seen quite a number of people reviewing that, so I think I'm gonna kind of hold off on at least doing a review for that. I don't know when I'm gonna watch that, but just saying, I'm just saying. But anyway, you guys, until next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.